Hello, everyone. It's Fred again from Notes of a Nomad, video number 138. Today, I want to share a couple ideas, one being from a voice from Ukraine. But before I start that, I just want to mention today is September the 30th. And a couple things about today. First of all, in Canada, it is a public holiday called the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. And that is primarily for the schools, the residential schools, the First Nations people, for the children who never came back, and for the survivors, but also the communities and the families for truth and reconciliation for the First Nations people. And the second thing today, September the 30th, this particular year, Russia has just announced, and Mr. Putin has announced the annexation of four regions in the Ukraine, which takes up 15%, approximately 15% of the Ukraine. So that brings to mind what happened last Saturday in the Agora Speakers International meeting that we have, the Stand By Me Speakers Canadian Club. We have an after party. And in that after party, people discuss various things. And one of our participants was Vitaly from Ukraine. So one of the members asked him, "Oh, can you update us what's going on in Ukraine?" And Vitaly mentioned three things that I thought were of interest, and I'd like to share them with you. The first thing, Vitaly is a computer programmer, and he works, I think, in a city in the western part, which has been impacted by the war, but not as much as it's happening in the east, where the war is really progressing. He said he lost his best friend in the war who was in the military. So there's an impact right there. And his brother is currently in the military. So just think of all the impact that's going on in Ukraine, all the people that's being impacted. We know about it, but this was, someone we know personally in Agri Speakers Canada. The second thing he mentioned when it was stated, oh, one man is causing this, Putin, he's to blame. And he mentioned, it's also the Russian mindset. And if you think about it, yes, there's a lot of truth. Just what some of the soldiers are doing in Ukraine, the Russian soldiers, it's not acceptable practice what they're doing and the way they treat the Ukrainians. It's anyway, it's terrible. And so I never thought of that, but yes, there is something with the Russian mindset, as what she said. And the third thing, which really uh, impressed me, was he said the leadership in Russia is that hierarchical leadership, where in my previous video of last week, we were talking about you have followers for the leaders. The leaders have followers. And that's what the way Russia works. But he said in Ukraine, it's different. He said there we have the leaders and collaborating with everyone, and the leaders creating other leaders. And he said it's not only in the military, but it's also at work where he works. We all collaborate, we talk. It's not just one person dictating what we should be doing. And when the war is over and when Ukraine is won, as Vitaly states, they will work together and build the Ukraine to become the country that it can become with the Ukrainian mindset, with this collaborative. And that gives me some hope. So that was a voice from Ukraine that happened last Saturday in our after party in our meeting with the Agora Speakers International. So why am I sharing this? Well, as I stated more than once, this is really aimed at my um, grandchildren and my descendants who may say, oh, what was going on when that fellow was alive? Well, this is what's happening currently. And I just thought I would share it because history will tell us a lot. And it'll be interesting for them to look back in the history of what's going on today and how much this today, what's going on, has impacted the future where they are living. So, with that, I'll say adios, au revoir, wishing you, your family, and friends lots of love and laughter. Bye for now, Fred, and Notes of a Nomad.